The physical features of the United States. Why does where you live in the United States matter? The United States is a large country with diverse physical features, climates, and resources. The major physical features of the United States include mountains, rivers, and plains. The climate of the United States is wetter in the east and south and drier in the west. The United States is rich in natural resources such as farmland, oil, forest, and minerals. The main idea of today's lesson is major physical features of the United States include mountains, rivers, and plains. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to identify what a tributary is and be able to name two rivers that are large tributaries of the Mississippi River. You should be able to explain what are the interior plains and be able to summarize how the physical landscape changes from east to west. The United States is one of the largest countries in the world, the third largest country, and the third most populous. This map shows the geography of our country, including national and state boundaries, and the bodies of water that border the United States, such as the Gulf of Mexico to the south, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. Physical features. The United States is the third largest country in the world behind Russia and Canada. Our country is home to an incredible variety of physical features. All but two of the 50 states, Alaska and Hawaii, make up the main part of the country. If you look at the physical map of the United States, it shows the main physical features of our country. As you read about America's physical geography in the east and south, the interior plains, and the west. The east and south. If you are traveling across the United States, you might start on the country's eastern coast. This low area, which is flat and close to sea level, is called the Atlantic Coastal Plain. As you go west, the land gradually rises higher to a region called the Piedmont. The Appalachian Mountains, which are the main mountain range in the east, rise above the Piedmont. These mountains are very old. For many millions of years, rain, snow, and wind have eroded and smoothed their peaks. As a result, the highest mountain in the Appalachians is about 6,700 feet. The interior plains. As you travel west from the Appalachians, you come across the vast interior plains that stretch to the Great Plains just east of the Rocky Mountains. The interior plains are filled with hills, lakes, and rivers. The first major water feature that you will see here is called the Great Lakes. These lakes make up the largest group of freshwater lakes in the world. The Great Lakes are also an important waterway for trade between the United States and Canada. West of the Great Lakes lies North America's largest and most important river, the Mississippi River. Tributaries in the interior plains flow to the Mississippi. A tributary is a small stream or river that flows into a larger stream or river. Along the way, these rivers deposit rich silt. The silt creates fertile farmlands that cover most of the interior plains. The Missouri and Ohio rivers are huge tributaries to the Mississippi. They help drain the entire interior plains. From its source in Minnesota, the Mississippi River flows south across the central United States. It ends at the tip of Louisiana. This satellite image shows the area where the Mississippi River meets the Gulf of Mexico. This area is called a delta. A river's delta is formed from sediment that a river carries downstream to the ocean. Sediment is usually made up of rocks, soil, sand, and dead plants. Each year, the Mississippi dumps more than 400 million tons of sediment into the Gulf of Mexico. The light blue and green areas in this image are shallow areas of sediment. The deeper water of the Gulf of Mexico is dark blue. Also, notice that much of the delta looks fragile. This is new land that the river has built up by depositing sediments. As you look at the physical map of the United States, notice that the land begins to increase in elevation west of the interior plains. This higher region is called the Great Plains. Vast areas of grassland cover these plains. There are fewer rivers and not very many trees. The West. In the region called the West, several of the country's most rugged mountain ranges make up the Rocky Mountains. These enormous mountains, also called the Rockies, stretch as far as you can see. Many of the mountain's jagged peaks rise above 14,000 feet. The Rockies are more jagged than the Appalachian Mountains because they are younger and haven't eroded as much. In the Rocky Mountains is a line of high peaks called the Continental Divide. A continental divide is an area of high ground that divides the flow of rivers toward opposite ends of the continent. Rivers east of the divide in the Rockies mostly flow eastward and empty into the Mississippi River. Most of the rivers west of the divide flow westward and empty into the Pacific Ocean. Small little tidbit: all continents have a continental divide except Antarctica. Continental divides are a section of elevated terrain forming a border between two watersheds. This means that along the border, water flows on both sides of the line and travels in the opposite directions. The continental divide in North America is sometimes called the Great Divide. Farther west, mountain ranges include the Cascade Range and the Sierra Nevada. Most of the mountains in the Cascades are dormant volcanoes. One mountain, Mount St. Helens, is an active volcano. A tremendous eruption in 1980 blew off the mountain's peak and destroyed 150 square miles of forest. Mountains also stretch north along the Pacific coast. At 20,310 feet, Alaska's Denali, which used to be known as Mount McKinley, is the highest mountain in North America. Alaska is home to 39 mountain ranges and 17 out of 20 of the tallest peaks in the United States. Some of its mountains are active volcanoes. They are located also around the Ring of Fire. Far out in the Pacific Ocean are the islands that make up the state of Hawaii. Volcanoes formed these islands millions of years ago. Today, hot lava and ash continue to erupt from the island's volcanoes.